Let me ask you something, and be honest. Have you ever tried to correct someone with solid evidence, clear facts, undeniable proof, and somehow they ended up believing the wrong thing even more? Yeah, that moment where you just stop and think, how did this go so badly? That's not just frustration, that's psychology. Today, we're talking about something deeply uncomfortable called the backfire effect. And once you understand it, you'll never look at arguments the same way again. Here's the mind-bending part. Sometimes facts don't weaken false beliefs, they strengthen them. I know, it sounds completely backwards. We grow up believing that truth wins, that logic convinces, that evidence changes minds. But your brain didn't evolve to be a courtroom, it evolved to survive. And that changes everything. Imagine your beliefs like the foundation of a house. When someone challenges one of them, your brain doesn't hear, "Oh, interesting information." It hears, "Threat detected." That uncomfortable tension you feel when evidence clashes with what you believe, that's called cognitive dissonance, and your brain hates it. So instead of calmly updating its beliefs, your mind does something wild. It goes into defense mode. Facts don't enter as neutral data. They're treated like attackers. This is where the backfire effect kicks in. The more you push facts directly against someone's belief, especially one tied to identity, the more their brain digs in its heels. Because at that point, the belief isn't just an idea, it's who they are. Political views, health choices, moral values. When those are challenged, the brain reacts emotionally, not rationally. Neurologically speaking, the amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for fear and threat, lights up. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the rational, analytical part, takes a back seat. So people don't analyze your evidence, they defend themselves from it. And here's where it gets even trickier. Your brain starts filtering information selectively. Anything that supports the existing belief gets remembered, shared, and amplified. Anything that contradicts it, minimized, forgotten, questioned. This is confirmation bias on steroids. And social media makes it worse. Algorithms feed us information that agrees with us over and over again until beliefs harden like concrete. So when an outsider shows up with facts, it doesn't feel helpful. It feels hostile. That's why you see this pattern everywhere. Show scientific consensus on vaccines, hesitancy deepens. Present climate data, denial becomes more aggressive. Correct misinformation online, and suddenly you're part of the problem. Not because the facts are wrong, but because the approach triggers defense. And here's the painful truth. The backfire effect doesn't mean people are stupid. It means they're human. So, what actually works? First, empathy beats evidence. Before facts can land, the emotional shield has to come down. That means listening first, asking questions, understanding why someone believes what they believe. Second, appeal to shared values, not opposing data. Instead of saying, "You're wrong," try, "We both care about safety," or "We both want what's best." Once identity feels safe, the brain becomes flexible again. Third, use something called strategic inoculation. Expose people to weakened versions of misinformation before they fully absorb it, while explaining how it manipulates emotions. That builds mental antibodies. And finally, know when not to argue. Some debates aren't about truth, they're about belonging. And no amount of data can win against fear of losing identity. Understanding the backfire effect doesn't make the world less frustrating, but it makes it clearer. It teaches you that changing minds isn't about being louder or smarter. It's about being human first. Because sometimes the fastest way to truth isn't fact, it's trust.